This podcast is brought to you by Greenman, all natural, mineral-rich superfood. If you have never heard of Greenman, I consider it to be the most important essential supplement for dogs and people. It is a great source of plant-based minerals, which are much more bioavailable and effective than supplements made from chemicals or ground-up rock. Minerals cannot be made in our body and have to come in the form of food. Unfortunately, intensive agriculture and food transportation have interrupted the natural nutrient cycle, and soils and food are becoming increasingly depleted. Mineral deficiencies are one of the primary causes of disease. Let me give you another explanation. Most people understand that plants in the garden would not grow if some of the minerals were depleted or missing. For example, if phosphorus is deficient, strawberries and tomatoes would not blossom and fruit. Ironically, healthcare has not fully addressed the fact that food deficiencies are a greatly predisposing factor when it comes to cell and organ dysfunction and disease. Malnourished and depleted plants in the garden are relatively easy to spot, but a mineral deficient body is harder to detect until it's too late. The key to supplementing minerals is to provide them in the most digestible and bioavailable form. This is why I chose Alga calcarea for Greenman. This certified organic algae originates from Brazil and has evolved to absorb minerals from the ocean water and deposit them in the roots to anchor itself on the ocean floor. Alga calcarea was first discovered by Brazilian farmers who fed it to horses, cows, and other farm animals and witnessed an amazing transformation. The animals were stronger, grew better, and rarely fell ill, which makes sense because there are 37,000 billion chemical reactions taking place in the body every second, and they cannot proceed smoothly without necessary minerals. Since then, Alga calcarea has been used in treatment of osteoporosis in people, and I made it part of Greenman in 2012, the essential plant-based mineral and amino acid supplement for dogs and people in 2021. If you would like to learn and read more what other people say, it is simple. All you need to do is to go to greenmin.com, or for human supplement, Greenman H+, HPLUS.com. Hello, my dog lovers and other folks. I'm Dr. Peter Tobias, and you're listening to Not Just About Dogs. Today, I'd like to talk about listening to our dogs and how often they bring us a message of adjusting our life, making changes, and living the best life possible. Do you think that our dogs would want us to work 12 hours a day, spend hours in traffic, watch too much TV, or shop for things that we don't need? I would like to invite you to close your eyes and imagine what kind of life your animal friend would want for you. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? The first time I asked myself these questions was more than 14 years ago, before I sold my veterinary clinic to go online and focus on helping people and their dogs stay healthy for as many years as possible. When some of my friends asked me why I made such sudden decision, I just said that I listened to my dog, Skai. Now looking back, I know that for years he reluctantly followed me to the clinic door, hoping that I would change my mind, turn around, and go and play in the park instead. He knew I was burning out well before I did. I was helping many dogs and their people, but I felt like a failure because I couldn't find balance in my own life. One day, at the end of my 12-hour shift, I turned to Skai and asked him, "What would you want me to be if anything was possible? What would you want me to do if I could do anything?" And then I closed my eyes and floated away in another world. There I was, inside of a pitch black box. I felt the fear and panic of not being able to find the door, trying to push the walls away as they were closing in on me. And then I gave one more push and suddenly the black walls collapsed. I was standing at the top of a huge waterfall, frozen with fear of falling into the unknown below. I stood there for what seemed really like eternity, but then it felt like an invisible hand pushed me. Just like a slow motion film, I leaned forward beyond the point of no return and started to fall into the unknown below. I splashed down. The cool water enveloped my body and I felt chilly for only a few seconds, but then quickly this feeling of chill turned into a feeling of invigoration and feeling refreshed. My head surfaced and I gasped for air. All I could see was light and the blue horizon. And then it started again. Peter, our computer system is down. Can you come and look at it? Also, the washing machine is leaking. Peter, there is someone calling with an emergency. Peter, can you sign this check? Peter, you have a client holding on the other line. Peter. I was clearly back in my black box. A few months later, my partner and I decided to go for brief holidays to Maui. It was the first time we were able to take Skai along as they had canceled the rabies quarantine requirement in the state of Hawaii, and they allowed direct airport release. Seeing Skai running on the beach was one of my happiest moments of my life. I closed my eyes and again, a movie played in front of me, this time from the early years of my life, growing up in a small town near the German border. It was surrounded by open pit coal mines, and the air was heavily polluted by sulfur dioxide from burning poor quality brown coal. Most of the time, the air smelled like rotten eggs because it was so polluted. I opened my eyes and looked around. How wild that I am here in Hawaii, 11 time zones away, I thought. Near the end of our trip, we visited Hana, a remote town on the northeast end of the island. We hiked through a very dense and lush jungle and bamboo forest until we reached a magnificent waterfall. It was amazing, several hundred feet tall, and I stood under the waterfall, my arms wide open, gasping for air as the cold water rushed over my face, and I didn't even register that my partner took a few pictures. The next day, on the way back to Vancouver, we browsed through the photos from the trip, and one made my heart stop. There I was, standing in the waterfall with Skai in the foreground, grinning at the camera. Suddenly, it all connected. My moment in the clinic, the black box, the waterfall, the plunge, and the feeling of freedom. I felt like Skai was saying, go for it and jump. I loved working in the clinic. It wasn't the problem, but I knew that no matter how much I worked, I would not be able to help as many people as I needed, because already then we were kind of facing a medical system crisis. So I decided to sell the clinic and go online and create a system where we can help more people, hundreds and thousands and maybe tens of thousands of people, to learn how to keep their dogs healthy and how to extend their life. So now, when you have listened to this story, I would like to invite you to ask yourself, what would you do? What would your canine friend want you to do if anything was possible? I propose that you close your eyes and listen to your dog. Oh, one more thing. If you have any questions, you can always go to my website. There's tons of articles and blogs on different topics. It gives me an incredible pleasure to help you keep your dogs healthy and also hear how well they're doing after you apply some of the treatment protocols. I also write a weekly newsletter that is full of information on how to keep your dog healthy and happy for many years to come. And if you want to join our pack, all you need to do is to subscribe on the website. Thank you for listening, and give your dog a hug for me. Take care.